Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back here with the urban healer, Timea Urban, joining us here, Reiki master. She's a healer. She's a registered nurse. She's so much, and she's here to help us today. And we have another great topic in store for us. You look gorgeous today. I'm so happy to be back here working and to have you with us today.
Hello. So happy to be here. Yeah, I'm very excited to talk about this topic because I feel like people kind of know about it. It's starting to get very buzzworthy. So let's dive in, shall we?
Perfect. Yeah, we're talking today what? Sauna. We're talking benefits. Give us the scoop.
Okay. Have you ever done an ice bath before?
Never.
Okay.
Okay, good. Tell me why I should. Go ahead.
I love how you're like, and I will not. Thank you very much.
It's cold, but hold on, there must be benefits. Go ahead.
Okay, so
sauna sounds more my thing. I like hot, but we'll talk both.
Okay, 100%. We'll dive into both. So a lot of people have been doing saunas, and it's something that's been around for thousands of years in all kinds of cultures all over the world. So, I mean, it's one of those things that when multiple cultures do it and have been for thousands of years, there has to be a benefit to it because clearly it's working. Mm-hmm. And the ice bath, same with that. But I think that has been, it's been in and out of media for a couple years, and now it's getting significantly more popular. So when you put the two together, you have this whole new level of healing that you can uncover and dive into. And it is so good for both your physical body as well as your spiritual and mental health as well. So why do this? Because people are like, oh, the cold, I'm not really sure. So essentially what happens with your body is you tap into this thing called hormesis, which is the process of exposing your body to short amounts of stress to activate a certain pathway in your body that is super, super healing. And we do this all the time anyway. So, you're just putting your body under stress, but you just have to make sure you're putting it under a small amount of stress because if you don't do it long enough, you don't get the benefit. But if you do it for too long, then it's actually detrimental. So you got to be really mindful of exactly that little sweet spot in the middle. And we do this anyway. So when we're exercising, for example, your body is under stress, and obviously you shouldn't do an 8-hour exercise day unless you are a marathon runner and you're an athlete and you've trained for it and your body's ready for it. But then we all know that doing workouts is super, super, super important. So this is also things like intermittent fasting. So you can do it right and you can do it wrong. And I know nothing about this, so don't ask me. All I know is I like snacks, so I will not be doing that. Yeah. So the other thing is heat shock and cold shock. And if you're using them the right way, the benefits are mind-blowing. And I will tell you that on my own accord, because I've been doing this now for a couple months and I am straight up addicted.
Got it. Well, I got to try this out then. My goodness. So it's possible to, good.
Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, which is kind of more mainstream that people actually know about, is going into a sauna. And saunas are super relaxing. When usually we say sauna, you're like spa, getaway, magic, lovely. But it actually has so many benefits. And the whole idea with the sauna is you're increasing your core temperature, which then allows your heart rate to increase, which means the blood is flowing more, you're sweating, you're detoxifying, you're letting go of all this extra water weight and any sort of chemicals that you might be carrying in your body, and you're letting it all go. Mm-hmm. So with the saunaing, this has been linked to things like longevity. And a lot of people who sauna regularly, they actually live longer because there's just so many health benefits to it. And one of the big things behind it is a heat shock protein that gets activated. So when you are putting your body under this heat, you start developing heat shock protein. And there's so many benefits. So for example, your cardiovascular health, your immune system. And again, just think your blood is pumping and flowing. What do you do when you're exercising and you're doing cardio? Your blood is flowing and pumping, and you're allowing things to kind of move so they're not stagnant. And again, you're sweating, so you're releasing and you're letting go. And this has also been linked to things like your neurovascular health. So it can actually decrease things like dementia, Alzheimer's, and it's very protective for those neurodegenerative diseases. So, I mean, like we all always think about wanting to be super fit and healthy, but then it's like if you have like a pretty decent body when you're old, but your mind has gone, that's not really beneficial. You
Yeah.
want both. And this is one of those ways of doing that. And even just sitting in a sauna, you actually increase your endurance. So people who sauna on a regular basis, and this doesn't need to be aggressive, this can be like 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, will actually increase their endurance. So let's say they were to run, they can run longer, faster, and they're just able to like hold that energy. So even though you're not exercising, you're still kind of getting that benefit of the exercise, and your body's just used to that stress and knows how to like handle it. And like I said, you're detoxing those toxins, you're able to increase your mood, your mental well-being, and that's because of some of the chemicals that are released in your body when you're in this like heat shock. So norepinephrine, I can't talk today.
Yes, you
Had a
can.
really early morning. So that is one of those neurotransmitters that allows you to have those benefits in terms of the mental well-being. And again, it's like you can actually see that in terms of more vigilance, more attention, more like mental resilience. And like especially for what we've been through over the last like 2 years, resilience is everything. It's like, can you be hit with something and then bounce back, or is it like you get hit with something and you just don't, you lose that like hope of wanting to continue and that drive and that ambition. So like resilience is just so important for us to have.
Wow. And it's also helping with the DNA repair.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's like, it's super wild. Like it like literally changes your gene expression. So it's like when you are in the heat and you're doing that more regularly, you become tolerant to it and your body will adjust to its environment. So then you're activating a certain like type of gene expression for you to have those benefits. And it's like so protective over both your mind, your body. And then of course, like overall, you're just going to feel like a much better person.
Oh my gosh. Awesome. I'm loving this already because it's funny. I live in a little complex. It's a little, there's like a little pool. There's a little clubhouse for the kids, which is cute, right? And there's actually a sauna in there, just, and I've never used it. It was closed with COVID. Now you got me thinking, I
Yeah.
wonder if it's open. Tiny little thing, but the girl has one
Yeah.
in her locker room. And the
Yeah.
benefits that and because it's got that big wooden spoon to put the water on, I've never ever
Yeah.
used it. Never thought
Yeah.
about it.
No, absolutely. And it's like right there. It's like I have one in my building as well. And it's like
Okay,
I never
cool.
used it, but it was like, oh, it's right there. But then I started doing it in this facility where I'm like, wait a
Mhm.
minute, there's like a lot of benefits. And it's like, it's just so important to even like reduce the aging process, because when you're able to be at your best and you're obviously having all these benefits, you're actually reducing things like your oxidative process. So
Yeah.
whenever there's this, when you're under the certain amount of stress, you have this oxidation that goes through your body, which then can actually damage your DNA. So then what does that mean? Things don't work the way they should, or you can even develop things like cancer. So when your DNA is kind of damaged or broken, that's when like your body starts producing things that it shouldn't, such as like a
Got it.
tumor.
Mhm.
So then you are able to have this like massive protection against that, preventing that protein degeneration, and you're really keeping your body safe down to your DNA, down
Got
to
it.
your cells. And I
Mhm.
mean, like straight up, it feels great, especially now, because I'm like, we got like snowed out in Toronto.
I could
Like
imagine.
how
How many feet of snow did you get?
so far, at least two.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a lot. I'm just like, we kind of dodged it and it's just
Yeah.
been cold, but I'm like, oh, it's here. So that being said, it's like just you sitting in a sauna, like you immediately feel better. Like you immediately are like relaxing, your muscles relax, and you're just like, great. But then it's like you have all these other benefits as well to just like, why would you not? And again, you don't need to do this for hours at a time, like 30 minutes twice a week, enough. And I mean,
Got
doing
it.
it more often obviously would give you more benefits, but like that is still like an amazing way of adding a new way of like staying healthy and well to your regular routine.
Got it. All right. So again, so regular time in the sauna, you say 2 times a week for 30 minutes for 3 weeks, increases running endurance by 32%. Wow.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to go into the cold now.
Yes, we're going into the cold.
Let's do it.
So the cold, people are less interested in doing because they're like, I don't like the cold. The cold sucks. I don't want to do it. No, 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 no. But again, your body's going to do the same kind of process, but you're going in the opposite direction. So a lot of people will do that, like a little bit of coldness at the end
Mhm.
of their shower. And that's fantastic. Chances are you're not standing there for 2 to 3 minutes, and chances are the water's not near freezing.
Got it. Yes.
And chances are. And again, that's like, hey, it's still great for you to give yourself that shock. And it's like, if you think and you just took a nice warm shower and then you just did the cold shower at the end, it like wakes you up. Like you're like, whew, what was that?
Wow.
Like immediately. And it's like, it's better than an espresso. Like it wakes you up in the healthiest, most beautiful way. But if you did this and like actually submerged your body in ice cold, it's incredible. So what happens? You're now dropping your core temperature. So then all of the blood is going to come back into your core because your body's trying to protect itself. So your blood vessels are going to constrict just to retain the heat. And then you do the opposite where you actually start producing cold shock proteins. And you're still going to be releasing certain neurotransmitters that are super protective in terms of decreasing the oxidative processes, and decreasing the DNA breakdown, and making sure that everything's going as it should. But then the other thing is it activates your fight or flight response.
Okay.
We've talked about this multiple times where the stress response isn't a bad response, but it's just not good if that's what you live in. But if you have short bursts of that, you're actually strengthening, again, your resilience, and you're strengthening your body because you're supposed to have that response, but then you're supposed to come back down and be calm. But if you're constantly living on that, it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. Again, same as exercise. If you work out 45 minutes or an hour a couple times a week, great. But if you're doing like 3 hours a day, not good, because you're in the stress response.
Yeah.
So when you do that, you sit into ice cold water, your body's going to start screaming. Like your body's like, we're under attack. You're going to die. This is horrible. Freaking out. You're hyperventilating. Your mind is racing. It's like, oh my goodness. Oh my God, panic. But if you then connect to your breath and you see and choose and decide that, no, this is uncomfortable, but I'm okay. And you come back to your breath and you take control of your breath and you take control of your mind, the amount of resilience and strength that you build is unreal. And then all of a sudden you're just like, oh my God, I'm sitting in this for 3 minutes and this is super uncomfortable, but I'm okay. And everything's going to be okay. And rather than letting my mind take over and I'm freaking and my breath is all over the place, I'm choosing to breathe slowly. I'm choosing to stay in the moment. Also, guaranteed, you are not going to be obsessing about the past, and you're sure as heck not thinking about your to-do list. Magic. You are in the moment. This is like mindfulness, like supercharged. And again, it's like, you're in that moment, you're realizing you can do hard things. And when you come back out, you're just like, I just did that. Wow. Resilience is so powerful because it makes it literally is the difference between something horrible happening to you and bouncing back stronger rather than it absolutely shattering you. And then that's the difference between those types of like situations. It's the resilience. And sometimes resilience, it doesn't just come. It's really great if you can build it. So then God forbid you are faced with something that's super challenging. You're like, I've done hard things before. I got this. I'm going to come back to my breath. I'm going to control my mind. I'm not going to let it just take me on a ride. I'm in control. And that is so needed for anybody, pandemic or not.
Now, how did you discover this? And I know it's something that you're now adding, right, to your practice in a sense, this sauna, the ice cold. So like, how did you discover the benefits of this? And let's talk about now how you're integrating that into your own practice here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually it's so funny because it was completely by accident.
Of course. Never an accident. It's always meant to be, right?
100%.
But it felt like an accident, but I know what you meant because we believe in that. Yep.
I accidentally fell into an ice tub. Just kidding. So essentially what happened, I had a girlfriend of mine who sent me a text, and like, I literally haven't spoken to her through the entire pandemic. She's a yogi. We have common friends, but we haven't seen each other. We don't talk regularly. Like I got a message and she's like, hey, what are you doing in an hour? And I was like,
an hour?
I know. And I was like, usually my schedule is like jam packed, and that does not happen. Like you need to like pre-book me a month in advance. Okay. And I was free and I was like, okay, what's going on? She's like, hey, I'm going to this place. we're going to sit in a sauna and then we're going to take an ice bath. And there's someone who's facilitating and she just wants a couple extra people there. So it's like, we're kind of like humans to give her feedback because she's brand new. I was like, okay, cool. It's not that far. I'm free. Let's do this. It was amazing. I was actually like really uncomfortable with the heat because I was like holding on to a lot of heat in my body at that time. And I was like, oh my God, this is awful. I sat into the water, immediate panic, like hyperventilating, so uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden it was like, peace. And I was like, whoa, what just happened? And it's like, I don't know if you've ever been scuba diving, but it's like you're under the water. Nothing else exists. You don't hear anything. You're not thinking about anything. You're completely in that beautiful moment of what you see in front of you. And things just got so clear. And it was honestly such a powerful experience. Then I got addicted. I started going to this place. It's this tiny place in Toronto that is like, it has a tiny sauna, one tub. You can go by yourself, super safe. They are currently closed because of some of our lockdowns, but I started going there. And then I found out that they're actually building a bigger facility that is like half a block from my house. And I was like,
wow, how things are all meant to be. Yeah.
And then we started talking. I met the manager. We really hit it off. And she's like, do you want to work for me? And I'm like, yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Amazing. Yep.
So then now that is my newest offering. And it is like, it's wild. We're not officially open yet. COVID is not assisting the process. But we have run like smaller groups just for like internal training purposes in a complete safe way. And it's been like, wowzers. Okay. We just supercharged this healing process to a whole new level. So I'm very, very, very excited to start offering this.
Congratulations. Oh my goodness. So now on top of this all, the sound healing, the essential oils, meditation, let's talk more about and then the Reiki, there's still so much to all of this.
Yeah. So essentially the way that every facilitator is going to be running this differently, but essentially with the sauna, you're building heat and you're giving yourself an opportunity to release, shed, sweat, detox, let it go. So there's some people who are going to be doing breath work with that. Some people are doing like a gentle exercise or just like a super guided like meditation. I'm going to be bringing people in and we're going to start with the tapping. So then you're physically sweating and releasing, but then you're also allowing your mind to energetically release any sort of past traumas, anything that like maybe is holding you back or fear that you have or some sort of hesitation, sweat it all out. Then you go into the ice tub and you literally shock a new way of life into your body where you're given a certain mantra. You can either use the one that we work on during that class. There's always going to be different themes, or you choose a mantra that has come to you. It's like, I am powerful. I am resilient. I am peaceful, whatever it is. And then you sit in that ice cold water for, it's only for 2 minutes. I mean, I sometimes like going for longer, but for the sake of the class, it's going to be 2 minutes per person. You sit in it and you first get to face a fear. And then you get to realize that you're more powerful than that and you're okay. And then you repeat this over and over and over again while I guide you with a certain type of breathing, while doing the sound healing, while being there and holding the space for you. And then we go back into the sauna to gently warm yourself up, where I'll give you Reiki, where you've just released and shed so much. And now I'm literally just like blessing the space for you to feel super supported, held, and safe. And you get to now channel through your own wisdom, what came through, because you are so aligned with your higher self. You're so aligned with like what you actually want and desire, because you literally just cleared all the clutter. You like tapped it out, you sweat it out, you like froze it out. All is remaining is you to your core, where you get to like now decide how you want to start living your life and how you want to show up. It's pretty powerful.
Tapping. You also want to talk about tapping as well. You said tapping it out.
Yeah. So the EFT, emotional freedom technique, and that's just a way of bringing kind of the stress and the root causes of certain limiting beliefs, stories, fears up to the surface. And this is based on traditional Chinese medicine. So very similar to acupuncture, but you're not using needles, you're using your hands. And as you're tapping, you're activating these acupressure points, and then you're allowing the energy of whatever you're holding on. Essentially, the heavier emotions, how they're holding you back, you release it to create the freedom. And then you allow that energy to then move through your body, through the different meridians. So there's actually these tiny microscopic thread-like structures that you can measure. So you can actually see the energy moving through your body. So it's not just a woo, lovely, like spiritual thing, like you can scientifically also measure it. And even if you did like checking into someone's cortisol level, sometimes the cortisol levels can drop anywhere between 30 to 50% with like 15 minutes of tapping. That's huge, that you wouldn't even get with regular psychotherapy. So very powerful. I'm very, very excited. And this is something that is coming very soon. So if you're in Toronto, check out this place. It's called Othership, and it's located in the downtown core. And I'm just beyond thrilled to be part of this. So come to my class.
Yay, good. Well, and by the way, how do we reach out to you? Even though we're not done yet, but give us the contact information.
Of course. So if you want to check out my website, it's theurbanhealer.ca, CA because I'm in Canada, but I do have international clients, so it doesn't matter where you are. I'd love to meet you. And on Instagram, it's at the.urban.healer. And you can also send me an email, hello@theurbanhealer.ca.
Perfect. And what else did you want to share with our listeners today?
So I would like people to really consider trying something different and going outside of their comfort zone, because you do need to do things differently if you want a different result. And I mean, for me personally, I've been doing this now for a couple months. The amount of healing and resilience I've built is mind-blowing. And it's been such a beautiful way of complementing the other healing modalities that I do for myself, for like in my own personal life, because you're never actually done doing the work and the healing. True. And this has deepened my meditation practice. This has deepened my insight. This has deepened even just how I can show up for my clients. And that's like, one, I do for myself, and two, mainly I'm doing it for my clients so I can continue expanding, growing, having more offerings, and for me to be able to showcase other ways of healing, because everyone heals differently. Everyone's journey is differently. It goes through that life journey differently. So it's like, if you have more options and more tools, that is what's going to really help you get through those challenging times. And it's like, this is such an incredible way to heal. And I mean, the other thing that I've really leaned into, this is also through Othership, which is the company that I'm working for. They have an app, and it's a breathwork app. And we're going to be talking about that next week. Cool. But I do want to mention that they're actually launching their app officially today. And it is an incredible app. So it's all guided breathing exercises, and it can be anything between 3 minutes to like an hour long. So it doesn't matter where you are in your breathwork journey. And essentially with breathwork, you're just moving stagnant energy, healing, releasing. There's ones that will energize you when you're getting your day started. There's ones that will relax you, calm you, get you into that state of going to bed and like actually settling down. And there's anything else in between. So any topic you could think of, breathwork is a really beautiful tool. And this is by far the best app I've ever used. And I am very picky, so I definitely don't promote things unless I absolutely love them.
Got it. And in the meantime, until we can get to the studio, we could do these ice baths ourselves at home, right? Fill up the time. How much ice do you need? Like, yeah, because how does
a lot. So you want to definitely make sure that you check with a healthcare professional that it is safe for you to do that, because there are some contraindications, such as being pregnant, some cardiovascular illnesses. And if you've had, like, let's say a recent heart attack, you might not be ready to do this yet. So please always check with your doctor. That being said, if you have a recent injury, don't go into a sauna. If you, for example, like sprain an ankle, because that can actually increase the swelling, which might be not ideal. Ice would be great though, to sit in the ice tub. And that being said, you can do the cold shower if you want to just like dabble and start, or you can actually fill the ice tub, your tub with water and ice. You want it to be around freezing. So the tubs that we use, the water actually circulates, so the ice won't actually form. If you're wanting to, you can always take a dip in a frozen lake or a pond. Please, please, please don't ever do this on your own. Make sure someone's there that can help you, guide you through it, because you don't know what kind of response you're going to have. And some people who've gone through more traumatic events, it can trigger you. So you do want to be with someone that knows what they're doing, knows how to hold space, knows how to hold you like in that moment, so you don't kind of go too deep. But there's so many like people that do this on a regular basis. Like I know January 1st, there's a thing called the polar bear dip or
Oh
something like
yeah,
that.
they had those all over. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, this is not new. Like this is 100% not new. So if you were to even Google it, like I guarantee you there's ice baths somewhere in New York that you can access, or even if you want to jump into a lake. I mean, I've never done that. Like I'll work up to that, but I've only done the tub, but that is always an option for you as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much. And
You're
in closing
welcome.
today, let's figure out again, Timea Urban. So it's the urban.healer.ca.
So for Instagram, it's at the.urban.healer, and then
I'm
the
sorry, I
website is
added the website too.
Like
That's my fault.
you merged both, which is perfect because then people heard both. So my website is theurbanhealer.ca. I am running free Reiki and tapping workshops on Sundays for the next couple of weeks. So if you want to check that out, they're there. You can also catch the replay. And I literally teach you how to tap, and you get some Reiki, meet some amazing people. I've had some really big groups come out. So
And this is live on the website or on Instagram.
It's Instagram, it's in my links, and then it's also in my calendar if you go onto the website.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
All there. Amazing.
Pleasure to see you. Glad you're doing well. I can't believe we're going to get to this Arctic weather together, but you're in Toronto. It's even colder. Yes. So my goodness.
Yeah.
When will things, let me see. So you're really frozen right now. So I'm in New York and I can't do the Celsius Fahrenheit thing, but we're like,
oh yeah, no, I can't either.
Yeah. So we're like freezing. So you're probably like freezing below like 20 degrees. Like how?
A lot. Like a lot. Like
do you guys have to like stay in? Like, do you guys get warnings to stay in the house?
We had warnings on the weekend because we were like minus like 20 below freezing.
Do schools close at that point or no?
I don't follow the school system because I don't have any children.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they're still open, but we just had the lockdown because of like the like COVID situation. Yeah. But I think kids are back today. I mean, they just probably don't let them go outside. But
so best time to visit Toronto if I came up with the kids, when is it?
I love the fall. The fall is really beautiful. Sometimes the summer is a bit smoggy. It is still really stunning, but I would say if I had to choose my favorite season, it would definitely be fall, just because you get the warmth, but then you get the cooler nights. And then there's so many beautiful drives that you can do. And then you can come to the studio and I can facilitate you. Yes.
Thank you. How about I'll do the ice bath. I'll do the sauna and you can watch the kids.
Amazing. Done. Oh no, I'll take that. I love kiddos. Let's do this.
Thank you so much, Timea. Miss Timea Urban. Love you too. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.